Hello everyone. Today we are beginning a colorful check-in for the week of January 3rd through Sunday the 9th. So this is the coloring page that I'll be working on this week, the first full week of January 2022. So once again, we're here with Johanna Bamford's 2022 weekly coloring planner. The idea being that I'm going to be working and trying to include more coloring, more self-care in my kind of daily routine, but definitely my weekly routine. And I think this is one of the best ways for me to be introducing that habit again. And we've already completed one picture, which I did the very last week of December. There are plenty of episodes about that thing. But we're done, and I really like splitting it up. I thought it was really, really beneficial doing little bits here and there. And so this week, we are on January 3rd through the 9th. This is the first official week of 2022, and I have quite a lot of plans. So you can see I've been doing some sketching out and figuring out what colors and also trying out some, because this week we're going to be using something different. So let me go get all the supplies and talk to you about what we'll be coloring with, I hope. So I did some playing, as you can tell, and I will start up here what this is. And this is actually, I have brought out, or going to bring out, my Crayolas for this. Now, I am a bit concerned. These are all the colors that we will be using. Again, I'm very limited and trying to limit my palettes as much as possible and really focus on just getting the coloring done. I found that by limiting your palettes, you really can focus a little bit more, and you're not busy choosing colors constantly. But this one I'm going to try in the Crayon Colored Pencils. I've done some testing of where I did only one layer and then 2 layers and then 3 layers. I didn't do any blending at this time. The paper is going to be a bit of a challenge with these colors, but I really want to see if I can do Crayolas in Johanna's books to the effect that I like. Of course you can, it proves you can use them, but it's more of, you know, how much extra, or am I able to do some blending? Am I able to do, use my gam saw, you know, my little handy dandy. Look at that. I still have the shavings in there because I just don't want to clean it out. But I'm very excited because not only do I have the Crayolas, which are all here, these are the colors I've chosen. They match up over here. I love my Crayolas. I really do like having them and using them. And I've used them on quite a few videos. In fact, I have a playlist of videos that I've done with Crayolas. But the second part of this is, look down here. So one of my really close good friends gave me my first set of Koh-i Aquarelle Colored Pencils. And so these are like watercolor pencils, and I've been dying to try them out since I got them at Christmas, and I did, and my gosh, guys, they blend out so beautifully on this paper. And they don't take a lot of water, so you don't have any worry over here what's going through. It was kind of funny. I tested it, and I went, oh no, I could have ruined that side. But, you know, sometimes there's people looking out. The color gods were looking out for me. But it doesn't need tons of water to really get that smooth watercolor look. And I'm really happy. They blend really pretty as well. So it's only 12. So again, remember, I'm very limited on my supplies, that at least until we move. But I'm pretty excited about this one. I've never done anything like this. This is a kind of abstract tree. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to do it, but I do have an idea. There's a little birdie in there as well. So let me bring you in and a little bit closer, and we're just going to start, as always, I like to start with the background and kind of figure out what I'm doing with that. And I think we're going to be starting more in the center of the tree today. So thank you so much for coming along. I hope everybody enjoys these little color check-ins. It's a great way for me to reconnect with the ColorTube community, but mainly to get me back doing some coloring and looking forward to it. So thank you so much for going on this journey with me. All right, so I'm going to try something. I don't know how well it's going to work, but I think I want to, like I said, really start the background. And I kind of want to start from a center position here and kind of move out. There's a lot of really fiddly little details. Thank you, Johanna, as always. But I think I can get around with them with this really, really thin brush, because I want to start out with my watercolors and see how much I can get done with the watercolors before moving on. So I've got my Koh-i. Now, Koh-i are interesting. I haven't figured this out yet. So they have something printed along here that says 3720/3. And I thought that might be a color identifier, but I've noticed a couple of mine have the same number. So that's kind of confusing as well. So I'm not 100% sure. And then stamped on them is a yellow 468, this big long number. Again, so what I think I'll do whenever I list these colors, I've also read online that if you have the full set, the smaller set, so it's like a 12 and a 24, but if you have the full set, which I think is 72, like not all the colors are in all of the sets. And, so some sets have colors that are not in others. So I'm going to do my best letting you know the colors, but these are pretty, primary colors. But I just know that I like to list that for people to kind of, if you have these someplace that you want to try to use them, I want you to be able to use them. So we're going to start out with the yellow. All right. So this is one of the reasons I love this book. It's small. It's easy to have around in the place. I have a very small table that I'm actually coloring on. Excuse me. I'm going to get a little sip of tea here. Lovely. Cup of tea. So what I'm going to do is, you just start coloring in. And like I said, I was kind of thinking of making kind of a center area. Sorry, I am one of those that have to turn the book. So I'm just coloring in really lightly. One of the things I'll say about these pencils is they lay down color easily. And Johanna's books, if you kind of feel the paper, is quite smooth. But wow, these things are just laying down like butter. So, and they do put a lot of color down. They feel a little scratchy in the hand, but that's because, it's dry watercolor paint. But they lay down really easy. All right, I'm just trying to see. Got to get my eyes adjusted to her drawings. And I'm not really sure what I'm going to be doing with this, where this is going to take us. So, as I said, I'm going to be doing these so that you can always color along if you've got the same planner. But it's also to kind of do some experimenting. I just feel like in this book, I can do so much more experimenting than I would in any of her other books, because, it's a small picture. If it doesn't work, I just have to look at it for a week. And you know what? Every time it doesn't work, I learn something. And to me, that's one of the joys of doing art, is keep pushing yourself and see what you can do. Now, I am not using the green because the two greens in this I felt like were way too dark. But what I did remember is the classic, guess what? Yellow and blue make green, so I can get that gradient. And that's really the colors I'm doing. I'm envisioning this kind of being lit from behind. right, so now I'm going to come in with what is, again, see, they see 3720 with a slash of 18, but then on this side, it's just calling it a light blue 069. Now, as I said, I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to do or how I'm going to do this. I have a feeling that I'm just going to keep getting darker. So now I'm going to come in with that. It's a dark blue, 167, and it's 3720/19. Again, the dark blue, and I'm just going to start eking out to the sides and then doing some mixing. This is the hard part with watercolors because you know, you don't know what it's going to look like until you've actually activated them or you put the water to them. So this could turn into a huge mess, which then means I have to get really creative. So just going to start putting in this dark blue, overlapping that light blue, just a hair here and there. Now, I've been reading about how people talk about these and kind of trying to get an idea about them. And I think people are also just using them straight as, they're not actually putting the water on them. And I have to tell you, if you're doing that, I could totally understand why, because I am barely touching this paper and it is coming down so lightly, so heavily with the pigment, that if I went in and really started getting aggressive, which I might do as I get to the sides out here, I could totally see why somebody would just use these as straight pencils. And I went out and checked, and even the 72 is not as expensive. For some reason, I thought these were much more expensive, but these ones weren't horrendously expensive for 72, but I have not ordered them. I'm being good again, but they are really quite enjoyable. If I can make it work, I will, start trying to use them more often, that's for sure. I don't know if you can order these individually either for replacements. Oh, to go back to Blick and just wander through the aisles again. Yeah, I know we can, but it seems like nowadays when I go, it's like, is it really worth me going through so much public? Because I have, public transportation and just, the crowds in the stores. Here comes a fireman. And I still haven't been able to get our booster. We're trying to figure out where to go get our booster vaccine, so who knows? All right, so I'm just going to keep going on with this blue. Now I'm going to go ahead and do a little black around the edges to kind of darken that blue up at the very edges. The idea that it's getting darker as we move out. I'm anxious to see what this is going to look like and figure out what I might do down here. So now we're just going in. This is just their black. All right, so now I'm just going to go in and with the blue, the dark blue again, and kind of go up into that black, because I do want that black to look more blue than just a black. So I'm hoping to get some extra color up in there. As usual, just, fussing, because the nerve part comes whenever you have to actually put the water on these things. So yeah, I'm just going to go around the edges. Now comes the steady hand moments. to see what we can do here. So, all right. I'm going to start with the yellow because I want to start with the lightest color. Now, I'm not too upset if some of this yellow gets onto the hearts. I'm trying to think how, because they would be, and I might even come back in and put some yellow down in this area, because if it's light coming from behind, they might have. But I just want to see what this looks like. And like I said, it does not take, and you'll see it better whenever we get into the blue, but it does not take a lot of water. And come across a spot that I missed. So I did not put any green in here. I just am overlapping the blue. So it makes a really pretty shade of green. But that light blue and the yellow are now merging. And you can see how pretty, or how well they are merging. So I'm also doing this to see how hard or easy it will be to color over, but like I said, I had to try them since my friend had bought them for me, so I thought, what a better place to try them. And again, I have so many Johanna Bamford's books that, I'm always looking for what works well in them. Now, did you notice there that I just picked up a lot of pigment up here and was able to bring it down into another part? So here, let me just, if you can see right there, that's a lot darker than it was. And that's because there's so much of the color is just fantastic. But you can go back in and kind of touch some bases and add some color for that blending effect. Remember, this is with a very, very light, very light coloring. So there are some intense colors here. Now I have Derwent ink tints. This is the first time I've been using watercolors and watercolor pencils to, I have a couple accidentally bought, didn't mean to. Didn't realize they were the Albert Durr, the Faber-Castell, theirs, but I haven't really used them because I thought they were regular pencils. When you go into like some of the art stores, they've got them all in those little bins, and I didn't realize I had moved over to the Albert Durr one, so I haven't tried those, but they are in storage, so I definitely won't be. But I'd be anxious to see, compared to these Koh-i how well the Faber-Castell does, because I'm really happy with these. I'm telling you, very little water and it is just blending beautifully. Before people tell me to go get the water pens, number one, I have a whole bunch of them in storage. So I just bought a children's set of brushes, but this is amazing because it has such a fine tip. I don't even know if I have any water brushes as far as those water pens or whatever that, that has this fine of a tip. So, but the whole thing cost me like $3.99 at Michael's. And it's really cool because they're like triangular in shape, and it's weird because it's really comfortable. And of course, they don't roll. And it's green, so it's kind of fun. Now the idea is for me not to color all day. It's for me to color different times of the day and not let it take up my whole day. So I will be finishing just with the activating the watercolors, and then I will be putting this away, and that's going to be probably overall about an hour or so of coloring. I want to just make sure that I'm getting at least 30 minutes a day, and that's why also having all this planned out and have my very set colors, and they're all in little easy to put away containers. So like all my colors that I picked out already for Crayola, they're all in that little small portable pencil roll, and then of course the Koh-i go back into their little tin that I got the little with them, so I can put those away easily. It used to be I would just get so many different materials out. I'd have all the materials, and then I would, when I was at the cottage and Simon wasn't coming up to the cottage, then I could easily, just keep things out. But I even then didn't like it because my cottage was small, so having that much stuff sitting around started bothering me. So I think I might be developing a new coloring habit. Plus, I have to tell you, it was so fun this weekend just playing with the colors and trying to figure out what I was going to use. And, I have to say, having that whole space over here to do that and to play around, and it's on the right paper, has just been fabulous. Sorry. Earthquake hit the camera. All right, so like I said, you've seen half of it kind of come alive. I'm going to finish the other half off camera while listening to an audiobook, and then I will come back and show you all the end of the day progress. So there it is, and now I just need to leave it alone and let it dry. I'm not sure if I'll be going back in with more or what's going to happen, but for right now, that's going to be the end of day one. Give myself some time to think about, put my stuff away, and I really enjoyed it. The colors and the mixing just really did a beautiful job. So I'm going to leave it, like I said, for now, and come back tomorrow and hopefully work 30 minutes. Not sure what the next thing's going to be. I feel like really messing with the tree and getting it set before figuring out what to do at the bottom here. But for now, enjoying it, liking it. I'm thinking, should I just darken this all down to where it's like more of the ground around? But again, I'm just not sure what I'm going to do on the inside. It's an odd tree. But we're going to make it fantastical. All right. I will see you tomorrow.